In the last video, we gave the introduction of chemistry and talked about chemistry as the study of matter. So now let's look at the properties of matter. And the properties of matter can be classified into two general categories. The first is physical properties, and these properties are based on appearance. Examples of these types of properties are color, size, and state. And the second classification of properties is chemical properties. And chemical properties are based on the ability to undergo chemical change. And examples of this type of property is flammability, and explosions. So, how can we characterize and how can we detect each of these changes? So, and what is evidence of these types of changes? Because as chemists, we need to be able to identify what type of change is happening. So, a physical change is generally associated with one, we could have a phase change. The second would be size. And the third could be texture. So when we have a physical change, we typically change the appearance, but the chemical identity of the substance is not changed. And these changes are typically reversible. When we melt ice from an ice cube to water in the liquid phase, we can then freeze it back again by going from a liquid to a solid. So we can typically observe these changes to be reversible. A chemical change is generally associated with a color change, the evolution of a gas, or the formation of a precipitate. In each of these changes, a new substance is formed, and as a consequence, these particular changes are irreversible. When we take a piece of paper and we burn it, it's really hard to go back from the ashes that are resulting from that chemical change back to the piece of paper. So from here, we can say that we can try to divide matter into different categories. So based on its physical properties, we can classify matter as a pure substance, or a mixture. In a pure substance, we have constant composition, and we have definite properties. in a mixture, it is composed of more than one substance. And as a consequence, we have varying properties. So a pure substance is a constant composition and it's uniform throughout. It has definite properties, and when we have a mixture, we have a composition of more than one substance present. So in terms of classifying these substances down a bit more, there are two types of pure substances. These two types are an element, and in an element we have only one kind of atom, or we could have a compound. And a compound is composed of more than one element. In addition, we have two main types of mixtures. The two types of mixtures that we are going to look at are homogeneous and heterogeneous. A homogeneous mixture, we can say, is uniform, and it consists of one phase. A heterogeneous mixture is not uniform, and it will consist of more than one phase. So we have all these properties that we're going to set the foundation of, and we're going to discuss these in much more detail through this course. There's one other classification that I want to touch on here in this video, and that's that in addition to the chemical and physical properties, we can also classify matter by its extensive or intensive properties. An extensive property depends on the amount or magnitude. An example of this type of property would be volume or mass. An intensive property is independent of the amount. And an example of this type of property would be temperature or density. It doesn't matter how much of the particular substance we have present, it's always going to be the same. So these are the general classifications and properties of matter that we're going to look at through the entire textbook. So this lays a little bit of a foundation for what we will see in the upcoming course, and not only just this course, but all the other chemistry courses that you'll take.